Judge George, welcome back to the program. Let's start with 2024. Here we are on the verge of it. Biggest priorities for you, what are they?
Yeah, exactly. This is, as you know, the my fifth year in office and the first year of the second term. And we came back in 2023, January 1st, and we had our staff meeting. And I said, we are going to get more busy, busier than my first term. And we did. And the first year of our new economic development department, which we created last year, um, um, under the county's leadership, which we never had in the past. And that's going to be a top priority because economic development is, as I mentioned before, a top priority for us, which is going to create all kinds of changes in the county. And as you know, we are the most ethnically diverse county. We have one of the most educated workforce in our county, and so creating more jobs is going to be a top priority in the second term, and which we are already moving forward with it. And so also understanding, because you know that in the 80s in Houston, what happened is the oil bust
Sure.
created a lot of problem for a lot of our people, and we were left with a lot of wonderful homes, but nobody was living in there. So we don't want that, and so we wanted to definitely diversify our job areas, and so that we are not dependent on a single industry economy. And so, in order to accomplish those goals, definitely infrastructure development, mobility infrastructure, when it comes to building new roads, bridges, public transportation, are all going to be always a top priority. Um, um, I don't know, you noticed we just passed a $712 million mobility bond, and also a $60+ million park bond, total 865 total, and we just passed in November.
Yeah, I was going to
So
ask.
we will.
I was going to
Yeah.
ask you about the bond separately here in a moment. Let me pause though and ask you a little more about one of those topics. Economic development is obviously a huge deal across the state, but Fort Bend County. When I think of Sugar Land, Richmond, Rosenberg, it's been exploding for the past 2 decades. When you're talking about economic development, what are you talking about specifically wanting to really increase?
um, Bringing more businesses, bringing more, maybe relocating some of these corporations looking to move, and we are.
Who's on your list, Judge? Who do you want to get? Who do you want to steal
I
away?
I don't know, and I don't. Some of the inquiries we cannot even talk about. But the thing about it is, we are working very closely with our stakeholders and others, and we wanted to make sure we are not losing any opportunities. Because what happened is, now this is the first year we had 100% control over our economic development. Because before it was done by some private organization, we actually kind of depended on them. And now
Yeah.
things are different. So its bottom line is very generic answer is, creating more jobs and creating a work environment, and also creating a business friendly environment for those people can move to our place. And so you know that talking about mobility and infrastructure is a top issue when it comes to any kind of economic development and business development. And when I came 5 years ago, county was owning and operating around 1,916 4 miles of roads. Now we passed almost 2,200 plus miles. So we are constantly building roads and constantly acquiring newly built roads and things of that nature. So that's going to be always a top priority
And
in the county. Mhm.
the voters there in Fort Bend County just passed that huge bond in November. How soon is that money going to be spent? And it's already allocated, but what do you think needs to be done first?
It got to be. I mean, it's an ongoing process. From 2000, we had these mobility bonds came in, and some of them still finishing up with 2014, 2017, and even 2020 bond projects are still happening. So that means there is a design phase is going to happen for many of these projects ASAP, and we are going to be more moving much more faster than we did in the past, so that we wanted to make sure we are getting ahead of this curve, because development, as you know, the growth in the county, we are almost touching 900,000 residents, and we are going to have 1 million people by next 2 to 3 years. So there is, we are going to be getting ahead of it. I don't have any specific detail. Okay, this project we are moving forward, this project we are not. And those details are still engineering department is working out. And eventually, maybe in 2-3 months, if we are talking, then I would have more specific information on it. It's just fast the ball.
Yeah, it just passed. Obviously, there, mobility, transportation, they're all big issues everywhere, but especially in a growing county like Fort Bend County, and especially in the Gulf Coast, the Houston area there too.
When we talk about also mobility, I just wanted to specifically say this. We are getting into a collaborative partnership between the city of Houston, Harris County, Fort Bend County, Metro, and so many other stakeholders in this region, because mobility is not just a Fort Bend County issue. Mobility is, the road doesn't stop at the county or, city borderline. And so we are very closely working with those entities and the leaders there. And I'm already, last night I was with the mayor-elect, John Whitmer, and looking forward, he's a friend, and looking forward to closely working with him, as we did with our current mayor, Sylvester Terrence.
Refresh my memory, does Metro go to Fort Bend County?
It is not yet, but that's the whole idea. And actually it is, it is.
Yeah, let me ask you about that. Mass transportation, especially in an area like the greater Houston area, Fort Bend County, is a huge deal, because Highway 59 there is always crowded. It seems any time of day. What's your biggest hope when it comes to mass transit and getting Metro in Fort Bend County?
Yes, and not just Metro in Fort Bend County. That is one thing we are working on. And also Fort Bend have a smaller transportation system called Fort Bend Transit. And so we are in the process of expanding that, so that we could have park and rides connecting or in collaboration with Metro, so that we could have more of that, so people can depend on these park and ride system, where they don't have to take the car all the way to downtown or medical center and so on and so forth.
Well, what's your wish list though? Is it bus service from Metro into Houston? Is it rail service? What are you thinking?
See, I will take anything because honestly, train service, rail service is a bigger conversation, and also more money involved in that, more infrastructure involved in that, more planning involved in that. And also there is, when it comes to state and federal government is involved in that. So many times as a local government, my power to move that is a little bit limited, I should say. But I'm open to anything, because as long as we can move people and without creating issues, and also I believe better mobility is a quality of life issue. And so I will work with all the stakeholders to make sure. Now we will be focusing on Metro, buses and all those stuff. And, rail is definitely a conversation for the future.
Where do you see, let me ask you it like this then. Looking at 2024, where do you see challenges? Because you have a big wish list.
Yeah, challenges are always, especially the unknown, right? I came into office in 2019, January, and we got hit with numerous weather events. And of course, March 4th, we had the first case of COVID in Stafford. Who would have known all that stuff?
Sure.
But we actually managed all that to the best, I should say. And we are better than a pre-COVID situation in Fort Bend County. Our economic, especially the business area activities, the building and all that stuff is much better than 2019 today. And so,
but as far as challenges go, when you look at your list, is there anything specific on there you have to figure you need to navigate around?
So definitely, mobility is something we talk about. And another challenge is, making sure we are providing, better healthcare system for everybody. And so Fort Bend County doesn't have a hospital system like Harris or many other counties have. This is a conversation we are going to have, and obviously we are waiting. We are going to be working on that, and I don't know the model looks same, but we need to address that issue definitely, because those who are doing well, it is good. They have insurance, they have healthcare system available, but the average citizens or even the daily wages, and there are so many people live in our county, they need help. And then
Would you like to see Fort Bend County have its own hospital system, hospital district?
I do.
How,
But
how likely is that though? I mean, that's a huge undertaking.
yeah, it is. And also I just wanted to be very careful about what I say, because I don't know. I said this, the model, I don't know it's going to be the same as Harris County. I'm not looking to, my vision is not to, I don't think we are going to have hospitals and we are going to be, county is going to be managing those things. We are going to bring our stakeholders, many of them in our county, support our, especially the indigent population. So we will be bringing them, those stakeholders together and providing funding. And I really don't know. We are still working on it, but that's my thought on it. And another big area we are working on is broadband expansion. And, as you heard, this President Biden's, vision is, or his aspiration is, next 10 plus years, every corners of the United States having broadband connection. And that is a very ambitious goal, and I'm supportive of that, because that includes Texas, and we are going to be focused on it. And now I believe an RFP is in place. We used ARPA funding, and also we are working very closely with the infrastructure bill and so on and so forth. And as you know, there's more than $3.3 billion coming to the state of Texas. And so we are going to be working very closely with state and comptroller's office and our legislative liaisons from Fort Bend County. We want to make sure we are also staying ahead of it, because almost 2/3 of our land is undeveloped or underdeveloped. Those areas need these connections, and this is going to bring the economic development I talked to you a few minutes ago. So we are going to be focused on that also very, very closely. Yes.
You have a lot on your plate, Judge. Thank you for the time. We appreciate it, and Happy New Year.
Yeah, same to you, sir. Talk to you soon.